It's a Saturday morning, and rather than mope around about things that aren't happening in my life, I decided to make a video on something that, I hate to say it, this is a topic where I lean more to the authoritarian side of mandatory laws and stuff, and surprise, surprise, I'm Australian. But besides that, I'm usually pretty free, easygoing. I think you should be able to do what you want as long as you're not hurting someone else or destroying their property, and everyone can just get along. Kumbaya, all that. But this is one thing where it's come to my attention over the years, and aside from sounding controversial, because it's going to come up that you're going to probably go, ooh, that sounds a bit discriminatory. Ooh, that sounds a bit prejudiced. It is what it is. So I'm just going to jump straight in here and say that I believe if you are a tourist that plans to stay here for longer than a couple of weeks, I believe if you are looking to immigrate to this country and live here, and I believe that if you are a full-blown Aussie and you've been here your whole life or whatever the case may be, this is your home, my island home. If this is where you live, they should be mandatory, but they should be on the house, because we do pay into the government and the economy, and let these politicians live the lives that they do because we work. Mandatory swimming lessons. Okay, hear me out. So most of you probably never even thought about it, because either you live in like the Midwest or somewhere where you don't have access to a bunch of beaches, or making a trip to the beach is a thing that you've got to really think about. Oh, it's going to be a 40-minute drive and we're going to have a picnic there and all that stuff. You have like a schedule that you're setting out and you've thought about it and you've put some thought into it. Whereas, say for someone like me, I live near the coast where I've always lived, and Australia's population is, I think, 24, 26 million. Nearly all of us are scattered around the coast. So beach life and beach culture is a thing that's ingrained into us. I won't say, oh, they're born with it, we're born with it, but we're not fucking far off it. And some people that come here do not come from a place like that. And I have noticed over the years, and I don't want to say make a joke of it, but in my head, when I hear on Saturday there was a tragedy at blah 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 beach where a young teen has drowned, blah blah blah, and in my head automatically, sorry not sorry type of thing, my head goes African, Chinese, Syrian, and ta-da! Nearly all of the time, it is someone from these countries. And that to me is a problem. If you're willing to let people come over here and enjoy this place, you need to arm them with the knowledge to stay safe. I guess what it comes down to is the whole thing with immigration as a whole. They want to virtue signal, I don't know, let people in. Yay, come and enjoy this place. We've got room. Really accommodating on the world stage. But the reality behind that decision has many different spokes that go into different other things that we should have taken into account before you open the floodgates, and we could prevent deaths. So I gotta tell you, story time! So I had this friend, and she met a guy on one of these Kentucky tours, or she was traveling or something, and they trained together, and she met this dude, and then later on he came over here and he was training at our dojo, and wow, must be fate, she ended up with him. She wanted to migrate to his country, which was Germany. I'm not 100% sure of the stipulations, but I do know one of them was she had to have conversational German. She had to learn German in order to seek a visa to stay there. Woohoo! German efficiency or something, because I can tell you right now, our country just lets them all in. But don't worry, we've got interpreter services that are a cost to the government, that is a cost to the taxpayer moving forward. I kind of think, and I want immigrants to this country that are staying here or choose to be on a holiday for longer than a week or so, for any amount of time that's reasonably substantial, they should have to sign up for mandatory swimming lessons. So apparently, because we are a desert island, we have over 200 beaches, quote unquote. For me, you could drive the coast and it's one freaking beach. It's like the coast, but they slap a toilet block in there, and then they maybe put sort of a place where you can grab some food, and they call it a beach. So it's a different beach, a different suburb. But there's so many of them that not all of them are patrolled. In fact, in where I live, there's only one that's in a reasonable distance that has life-saving teams on there. And that's the more touristy one where you see all the postcards off it and everything. And postcards of this beach make it around the world, and it's a well-known beach. And that's the only one that I know in my radius that has a patrol. That's not all year round, and it's literally, as we know growing up, swim between the flags, between the flags, between the flags. If you're not confident, go between the flags, because that's where their field of vision is. That's where the lifeguard towers are, and that's where they have access to the jet skis or whatever they may need to come get you when you're flailing in the water. Most places I go, you're lucky to get a shark siren on the shore, or maybe there'll be a billboard, like a mini board kind of thing, telling you the etiquette when you're surfing. I mean, I'm not a surfer, but I know some of the rules. So, you get right of way. So the furthest out or waiting, they wait the longest. You don't drop into someone else's wave when they're trying to take it. You surf within your ability, and all that stuff is on the signs. So we've got those signs, we've got the shark siren, and some patrols sometimes. But I think the lack of these things on every single corner of the beach is something to do with obviously money, but that we know that stuff. It's kind of common sense. Like if the siren goes off, why would you get in the water?
Probably helps as well if you knew English enough to be able to read the warnings on these signs.
I know you've been given a lot of stuff and you get to come here and everything, but you do have to take your own personal safety into your hands. It's your responsibility. There's only so much we can do. And having said that, there are cultures that either, again, don't have access to the waterways like we do, or just in general don't really have the experience around water like a lot of Australians do. Because even if you're not a beach person and you don't like it, it does creep into your lifestyle. We're a very beachy culture. There's always news, there's always fishing, there's always something going on TV or whatever. In our soap operas, we have crab festivals and stuff like that. Even if you have like a work party at the end of the year, sometimes it's a cruise on the river or it's at a restaurant that's on the beach. It's always in the background of what we're doing, and it's there even if you don't engage with it. So people from different places kind of need to learn that, and I think importing people and letting them just go out and drown essentially is very irresponsible. Our kids, Aussie kids that grow up here, kids that climb on rocks or whatever, in primary school from ages 6 to 12, in there somewhere, it is compulsory for the kids to do swimming lessons. A couple of times a week, a couple of afternoons, they'll get a bus out to the swimming pools or to the beach, wherever they're doing their lessons, and that is done through the school. It is that important. And yeah, you're going to get the kid whose parents can't afford to put them in there. You're going to get the kid that's sick or has grommets in their ears and they can't go swimming and get wet all of a sudden for a little while. Or you got the kid whose parents cited religious reasons as to why they can't learn to swim. I don't know, man. If your religion prevents you from letting your kid learn how to stay alive while they're in this country that you brought them to,
yeah, I said it.
Perhaps we need to look at that as well. Am I just talking about people that are religious? Am I just talking about children? Am I just talking about people that are from other nations? No. Definitely not. People drown here all the time. As I said, culture with us is a lot of water ingrained into it. There's always something going on. It's just something that we need to brush up on in general. King Swim is a company that just recently put out an article right before I did this video saying that adults should brush up on their skills as well. And it was something I'm kicking myself because I was going to put this video out about 4 or 5 days ago now, and I just didn't do it. But hey, more content, more pictures on the screen, whatever. But King Swim has said that there's a stigma around adults learning to swim or brushing up. And I was, is there? Shit, I was just looking into doing that myself anyway, because why the hell not? I haven't done a swimming lesson for a long, long time. And I think a lot of us get enamored by where we live and it's beautiful and everything else, but we get a bit complacent. And I'm saying that because a lot of these articles are the same. So-and-so tourist from so-and-so nation was found to be drowned. But you'll notice, and in particular, I want to draw attention to the articles regarding the child that was floundering in the pool at a resort and had the dad jump in to save the kid. And then the dad's dad, the granddad, jump in after. And think about how sad that is, where this little child is drowning and the dad goes, "Oh my God, my child," and like dives in. And then he starts having problems. And then his dad goes, "Oh my God, my child," and dives in. And just what a tragedy that is when you're not paying attention and you don't have the muscle memory and the skills to back it up when you are in trouble. That was really sad to hear about. So you've got, say, a family that means well, that wants to assimilate or whatever, and they're not given the tools to do so, or not given, say, the knowledge that they may need this skill at some stage. Can it always help you? No. I mean, you go down Albany, you stand at the gap, you see what happens there. It doesn't matter if you know how to swim. Drowning can happen anytime, anywhere, to anyone. I understand that. But this is just saying that over the past few years, I've noticed a substantial amount more of articles describing people drowning that tend to be from foreign nations or people on holiday and people not generally knowing about the water in Australia. So my idea is, if you're coming into the country and you want to migrate here, as well as anything else you need, you also need to try and swim. You need to get swimming lessons to at least be able to carry yourself in the water for a small amount of time, maybe change direction a bit, at least know to hold your breath in the water. I would like to ideally let everyone have some sort of CPR, some sort of revival training in helping someone that is injured at a beach or is suffering the effects of drowning. I would like to see some people be taught to spot rips. Is that always going to help? No, sometimes rips don't look like how you've been taught or how you've seen prior. Sometimes they're crazy, but like I've been able to spot a rip obviously since early teens. Like people that live here know this stuff. And if you can just get a glimpse into it and if you just learn something before you venture out into our waters and think it's all completely safe, that would really help. And it would help people stay alive. Don't want to be one of those people that's asking you to sub and like, but if you feel like commenting or liking, that would help me out. It'll give me the power to do more of these episodes.